And what is it to work with love? It is to weave the cloth with threads drawn from your heart, even as if your beloved were to wear that cloth. It is to build a house with affection, even as if your beloved were to dwell in that house. It is to sow seeds with tenderness and reap the harvest with joy, even as if your beloved were to eat the fruit. It is to charge all things you fashion with a breath of your own spirit. Work is love made visible.
Hi, I'm Rudo Nondo, the country coordinator for Fashion Revolution Zimbabwe, and we have been walking an amazing journey during the Fashion Open Studios with our two designers, Tendai-Angela Rokkones from Haus of Stone and Julian Tamuka from Guyllelujah, as well as their collaborators, Haleema from Yakasikana and Tendai-Angela Rokkones. We have chosen the theme fashion therapy, just, as a way of reconnecting with our clothes, reconnecting with the way that we use our hands and just how our clothing makes us feel. But through this experience, we've actually been delving into the different aspects of fashion as a form of shelter, that being what we've been focusing on with Nyakasikana and Julian, and then also fashion as a form of therapy. And that has come out through the meditation processes and just through the handcrafts and the hand sewing of the roses. So this has been an amazing experience for us as we continue to look at how we can reduce fashion waste, and also just how we can create further awareness, as to what we can do with the clothes that we already have in our wardrobes.
My name is Tendai-Angela Rokkones. I'm a multidisciplinary fashion creative and owner of an independent fashion label called Haus Of Stone. I started Haus Of Stone in 2014 where I relocated back home, and I think upon my return I realized that the fashion social ecosystem here was its own universe altogether, unlike anything that I'd ever experienced. I think the socio-economical challenges that I faced and still face really caused me to rethink everything in terms of what it was that I wanted to contribute and how I wanted to work within fashion. Being a sustainable designer for me wasn't necessarily a part of my plan. I think the environment sort of forced me into a space where I had to really reconsider my design processes and my business structures. I came back in 2018 with a collection entitled Ode to Toscana. It was pivotal in defining me as a fashion creative and what it was that I wanted to contribute. I realized that I really wanted to tell what I believe to be impactful Zimbabwean stories infused with subtle cultural heritage influences and elements. This collection garnered a lot of positive response, especially from the females. And then I realized in all of that that my calling was literally to use fashion as a vehicle to narrate stories that in a sense ministered to people. Fashion can speak to our well-being as people, as the creator as well as the wearer. So I'm so excited to be working on this collaborative project with Tendai-Angela and being able to have a conversation about sustainability, wellness, and how fashion fits into all of that.
Hi, so I'm Coco. Started Coco Seed in 2009, purely as a fashion house, just creating my own lines and stuff. I discovered being here that I struggled to find tailors or a group of people to actually produce my stuff, same quality all the time. So I realized there was a gap in the market for designers to actually have someone produce their things in quantity and in consistent quality. In the value chain, in this fashion value chain, where I was sitting was very important, and it was a gap I actually realized from across Africa. No one else was trying to do CMT. Everyone is just designing, but then no one is actually producing. I took on the challenge to do the nice stuff because of the story and the nice passion, and it was just a no-brainer. It's so fulfilling, even for the team that we're doing this. It's not for money, it's not for anyone. It's actually just, it's waste management and it's also sustainability. So it was very enriching, I think, for myself and the team.
Namaste, my name is Tendai-Angela and I am a yoga teacher or yoga instructor. Having your self-worth, you're able to provide more and have more quality and more value for others. So I take pride in teaching yoga and bringing in the different elements of styles and history and myths and legends and understanding the philosophy behind it, but also the science of it as well. Well-being and let's even say the fashion industry or fashion, I don't think that they can be separated because we all wear clothes, and just the same way that we can all hold principles, we all wear those principles on us. So when it does come into me as a consumer and dealing with well-being and fashion, I take care in understanding who made my clothes and where's the sustainability of it? Is there transparency within the supply chain?
I want it to be the sort of place that allows the consumer of clothing to feel as though they have somewhere where they can go, where people have thought through the process of how best to produce this in a way that is least costly, not just in terms of the commerce or the finance, but more importantly, what it means to the ecology and the environment we live within, and how better to influence that.
I first started collaborating in fact, with Fashion Rev Zim a couple of years ago on different projects working in art direction, and I've built a relationship with them which has now led us to this open studio, which I'm very excited about because I get to bring in something that's of great importance to me but also to the community, which is working with young people in and around Harare coming from marginalized or disenfranchised communities. And Tamba Africa Circus is a social circus, and we communicate important social issues affecting these young people. Identifying social issues which affect young women and girls, particularly those with disability, those that are living in the ghetto, those living in very, very impoverished communities, and trying to communicate all of the different dimensions of one social issue that impacts all of these groups of young people. So working with Guyllelujah and Julian has been an amazing experience for us because we were trying to communicate climate change and how young people are contributing to the effects of climate change and trying to bring it to a more basic level where we can communicate it in such a way that they can understand but also be proactive about how they can change the situation in terms of environmental degradation or how they are contributing to the effects of climate change. And with this open studio, we are quite happy to present a performance called Influencer, trying to take the idea of influencing people in a trend that's more sustainable and that's more healthy for the environment. They are beginning to see how they are part of not only the cause and effect, but also the change that they can make through the arts to communicate climate change to young people across the country.
Working with the kids from Emerald Hill was a very challenging experience. I had to learn how to quickly come outside of myself, remove my biases, and figure out how to understand what they were saying as kids who most of them are hearing impaired, and those ideas that they're translating across, and how to make sense of that.
The most important thing is, are you changing someone's life? Are you working? Are you pushing? Are you moving? You know, and that's what we're trying to do.
I feel like everything about Haus of Stone that makes it great are the people that I connect with, that I collaborate with, that give so much to what I'm doing that makes it manifest into something that is actually bigger than Haus of Stone.